Let's work on this normalization exercise together. We have the database design document here. As we can see, we are designing a simple mailing list database here. We have conducted our initial database design. We have identified all the required attributes. We put all the required attributes in a single entity. In this document, we also have business rules and design documents listed. When we refine our design, when we go through the normalization process, we need to make sure that the business rules and design requirements are satisfied. For our exercise, the important business rules are a target recipient can be on any number of mailing lists, and a mailing list can include any number of recipients. Now let's see how we can refine our initial design. First of all, we want to designate a primary key, and we designate the target name as the primary key. We put an asterisk beside it. The asterisk designates the primary key. Now we are ready to go through the normalization process. When we go through the normalization process, we start with the first normal form. Once the design conforms to the first normal form, we move on to the second, then the third. When we look at this design, we think about the requirements for first normal form. We can see several issues. Number one, the target name can be broken into first name and the last name. Also, we have 5 attributes for mailing lists. We have mailing list category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, we have a repeating value problem here, and we want to fix that. The way to fix a repeating value problem is to move the repeating values out to another entity. We did exactly that. We moved the repeating values to a new entity, mailing lists. We designated mailing list ID as the primary key. It's a surrogate key. We also made a few changes to our original entity, target customers. We split the name into first name and the last name. Also, we switched from a character primary key to a surrogate key. So our new primary key is target ID. The reason why we switched was a long character attribute such as a name, they don't work very well as a primary key. By switching to a surrogate key, we can maintain the consistency of the data of the database. Also, a surrogate key works much better with the database management system. So now we have a revised and updated design consisting of 2 entities. We just made some changes, so we want to go through the normalization process completely, starting with the first normal form. We look at this design. We have 2 entities. A mailing list can have any number of recipients. A customer can be on any number of mailing lists according to our business rules. So we have a many-to-many relationship between these two entities. A many-to-many relationship is problematic. We want to fix that. The way to fix a many-to-many relationship is to create a new associative entity. We did exactly just that. So we have 3 entities now for this design. And we can see that we used the primary keys from the 2 parent entities as the combined primary key for the new associative entity. And the new associative entity sits between the original 2 parent entities. We look at this new design. We made some changes, so we want to go through our normalization process completely one more time. With this design, we don't have any repeating value problem. We don't have any many-to-many relationship problem. So this design conforms to the first normal form. We move on to the second normal form. We don't have any issue with the second normal form either. Then we move on to the third normal form. This design conforms to the third normal form as well. Just a reminder, with the second normal form, we are trying to fix the partial dependency problem. With the third normal form, we are trying to fix the transitive dependency problem. So we are almost done with normalization. Now we need to establish relationships between entities. When we establish relationships between entities, we need to pay close attention to which side is the one side, which side is the many side. With our design, a mailing list can have multiple recipients. So the one side is on the mailing list, and then the mailing side is on the new associative entity, so that we can specify multiple customers, multiple recipients for a mailing list. The same scenario applies to target customers and the new associative entity as well. Take a look at this design. This design is complete. This design conforms to the third normal form with all the relationships properly established. So this concludes our exercise on normalization.